Hi, this is IK. Welcome to Redux Reducer. This day, concretely 7 January, is milestone. 1 year of recording video in this channel of React for total beginners. 1 year. There is 146 video, I think. And I don't know, I have no in analyze how many hours. But it is not what I want to say. That what I want to say is I confused. All that years I confused. And for something I'm confused still. And I'm thinking about how it is beginners in the programming. And I think it is very, very hard and frustrate and it is big man. It is very, very advanced man who can try and trying in from beginning, trying as a beginner in programming, concretely in JavaScript. It is JavaScript. I know JavaScript from their beginning. I wrote a book, JavaScript, maybe in last century, in JavaScript just beginning. But it was JavaScript version 5, vanilla JavaScript, and it was JavaScript can access HTML, DOM, document object model. When web pages coming in, loading in our browser, that web pages is script, only document, only in script, and go to our memory, go in our memory and stay in memory like hierarchy, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. JavaScript also visible in that document. JavaScript have object window document. That document have method get by ID, and we can get every element in that document object model and hide it, make visible, fly, some moving, some animation create with it, and it was all what we create, what we can that in that time with JavaScript, and I like very like HTML, CSS, and also JavaScript, and I didn't look. I stay on that level lot of times, and use that kind of JavaScript. And 2 years before, I started with Angular and begin with JavaScript version 6. It is 2015 years version, and it was for me totally a new language, totally new language. And all that last 2 years, I was very confused. 2 years confused me as a very experienced programmer. I need 2 years that I begin to love and like JavaScript, very like, and want to use it more reducer because it's more simple, and it is the reason that user get on the top. 2 years, and I ask myself how it is beginners, and this is my video is for beginners, and I only know teach beginners. Every my book and every my teaching is for beginners, and it is impossible to learn somebody advanced go, because of that we have platform Stack Overflow where we can ask a question and very soon received answer concretely problems, because advanced teachers, seniors, they have concretely problems every day, a lot of problems, and some must be synchronized with them to work on same thing, same kind of technology, and can give answer. When somebody who is a little advanced or a little back on same problems cannot, must take more time to respond to that concretely question in advance. What is advance? Advance is work for money, to be junior in some firm company. You advance. Why advanced? Because you work concretely project, and when you work concretely project, you use technology professional, and by help of source from internet or books and or your friends, your colleague in company, you learn up-to-date technology. What is newest, you take it. But beginners is people who go in that, and they need a lot of information to begin, where to learn, what is programming, what is hardware, what is binary system, how it works behind the scene, behind stage, behind what we see, etc., to understand that process, and get ahead, and every step is problem, because there is no step who is isolate, and every step need there is a context. But when you are beginner, you have no context, zero context, and first step is without context. In context, I mean some adding knowledge for that step, and it is very hard. There is a lot of kind of learning fundamental up, from fundamental up, or from up down. It means from my books is always top down. It means that create application and learn through that application, learn to button. But we must have fundamental app also. And during building application, I have some extension for concretely detail explain in fundamental kind. But today is a different time than 5 years ago. There is a lot of blogs. There is a lot of education material, and everybody who teach, who write educational material, don't need say all, because learner have only click along explanation. Ask Google for that explanation and take links for context around that explanation. And because of that, a learner is own architect of his learning, and some take fundamental app, some take top to button from application, but everybody use Google, ask Google, and finding other links. Everybody, but some take every unknown word, ask Google, but somebody skip some unknown words, unknown knowledge, and want to go ahead in that path, and would be go back when he want in the next time. It is a difference speed in learning. But when I said speed in learning, patient is important, very, very important. But sometimes there is a lot of, for example, reducer, Redux Junior, and somebody, you must go fast because company take people who like to learn, but not people who know all. And I recommend you that you learn what you learn, that you learn small part, but deep understanding, and you show that in interview, that deep understanding, and interviewer like it. They see men or women who like deep learning, like understand, and is patient. Everybody know that there is no deep learning and speed. And when you are deep learning, and what is very, very important, when you know explain that part of your presentation, how you explain, and if your explanation like interviewer and your intention for deep learning, you will be received, and you will go in a company and you will have colleague around you, senior mentor, and you go fast, lot of faster ahead. Then you learn over yourself alone. Then you learn alone. Okay, if you are confused, don't care, don't frustrate, don't give up, because I am frustrated also. Oh, I am confused, not frustrated, because I cannot be frustrated. I learn all my life, and I don't know what is learning, and I'm not frustrated because I know, okay, go ahead and you will find it. You will find solution. You will find the teacher. You will find the text. You will find you will find yourself. Get ahead. Get ahead. No problems. No problems. What you under quote lose. Never lose. Never lose day. Never lose time for learning. Never, and I know that, and I'm never frustrated, but I a lot of time very often stay in the same point and can get ahead, can get answer from Google, from Stack Overflow, from nowhere, and I start again, find thinking. It very occupied my mind. Okay, topic of this video is reducer. Reducer. I will show now every reducer in 7 reducers. We have more reducers than slice in one slice, and one slice is a reducer for one reducer for our store. Also, it is one feature, about one feature, but inside that feature we can have more reducer. One slice can have one reducer and more reducer, because of that is slice. Reducer in document slice are slices. Slice reducer. Let's go to see from counter 1. Counter one slice. Counter one slice. Here it is. Reducers. It is properties of counter slice. Counter slice object. There is a properties reducers, plural. Properties reducers. There is one object. You see, it's curly brackets. And that two object is increment and decrement. That object, increment, decrement, are properties. Are properties of reducers, plural. And here it is two slice in this one document slice. It is counter one slice. We have two reducer, one two reducer, and every reducer there in generic formula for every users is that reducer is a function with two parameters, state and action, with two parameters, state in action, and in body we have that same state. Here it is +1 increment reducer. Again, I said that increment properties, decrement properties, but we know from before that increment we can write as a function, but increment properties equal function. Here it is function. Increment is function because of that. Increment is a method, and increment is function also, and it is arrow function, and it is function for reducer. This reducer there is only state, because concretely value coming here, and when we use dispatch take this increment, function increment, as parameter. Look at for this counter one, dispatch, you look at, there is no decrement, there is no parameter. Dispatch, there is a parameter decrement function, but that function there is no parameter. It is counter one by one, and all others features, all others reducer, there is action in there is state and action right in as parameter, state and action. But here there is nothing in decrement reducer, and we know that it is really a decrement reducer, that it is also action creator. There is no parameter here, and go back to, because of that here is state, only state, and increment reducer is function, arrow function, with the parameter state and action, two parameter, and in the body you have state, that state from parameter, as always, variable from parameter go in body, and state dot value concretely +1. It will be what it is. It is always in parameter, it is always about momentary state, not new state, but we can call that previous state. And here in the body is new state. New state. If previous state, for example, is 0, like initial value, look at here, initial value, here it is initial value 0, and in body we have a new value, it will be 0 plus 1, it will be 1. New state will be 1. Writing like this means mutate state. Mutate state, but state is immutable. And we must, because of that, there is a IMER library coming with the Redux toolkit, and in background, IMER library do for us coding, scripting, for us all what is needed that our explicit order would be that our explicit changing, we call mutate, would be immutable way, on immutable way. It means that IMER library will copy state, and that copy add 1. And that new value, previous state plus 1, will be new state. And in the next click, previous state would be 1. And when we click increment, dispatch take action, and reducer, there is 1 previous state, and that 1 would be copy of that, and that copy would plus 1 would be 2, and it would be new state. And old state is archivated in history, and we don't mutate we don't mutate previous state, we mutate copy of previous state. Reducers. Here is 1 reducer, 2 reducers. Every reducer is a function, and it is pure function. It means, what is mean pure function is function what take care only about parameter, not about something outside of that. Nothing outside of function have connection with function, have nothing do with function, because it is normal that function have parameter, but also some global variable go in function, can go in function and do job together with parameter. But here in Redux and all Redux and all React, we do job with pure function. Only parameter go in body, nothing more go in processing of a function. And pure function take care only about state and action. Because of that, we call pure function predictable. We know output. We know what would be in output. There is no side effect and there is no bug. Pure function. Pure function, and we speak about plain object in some video before. Okay, to a Redux slice, and it is about counter 1. Let's go to counter slice, reducers, plural again. Only 1 reducer, increment by amount. Here it is state and action, and here in the body it is arrow function, state action parameter. State is previous state, and in the body we have a statement, we have expression, state, it is previous value, state, dot value. Now is not plus 1, but it is plus action payload. Action, object action, there is properties payload. And look at it is counter.js. Look at dispatch. Take for parameter that reducer, and that reducer there is a parameter also, increment value. And in that case, we have action writing in parameter list, a counter slice. Here it is only one reducer. It is properties equal arrow function. It is function. It is poor function because depends only about own parameters, nothing outside of function, and only state and action is something what coming from outside, but only state and action, these two parameters, will have a role inside the body of function. And state, it is state. This state is this state. It is previous value. Dot value, properties of state is value, and that value plus action payload. If payload is here it is 90 add amount 90. Dakle, so payload is what we write here in input box. Get back again. It is reducer function. Reducer is function, is poor function. Only state and action have a role inside the body. Nothing what is not in parameter. There is no role in body of function. Let's go to next. We go by ascending by ABC comments list. Comment slice. Comment slice is like post slice, but we look at reducers. One reducer is comment edit. Second is here is a comment slice is only have a comment edit. Only comment edit. Again, in this slice we have only one reducer. And again, that comment edit properties, there is two function. One function is reducer. Reducer poor function. Reducer here is writing like function name. Reducer here is a function name. It is generic name, and the parameter of function is state action. Always is state action, except this one example when we don't need write action. But in that also we have action type, but we have not action payload, but we have action type. Action type is counter one slash increment, counter one slash decrement. But get back here, reducer, and in state action, and here is a state, it is previous state, always, dot push. Here is a push, because here is not about numbers, but it is about text. State is argument 1 and action. State is previous state, and what is it? It is array. In counter we have object 0, 1, 2. It is one object in counter and counter 1. But here it is array of comments. Array of comments. Members of that array is comment single, comment. That array is previous array dot push, method of array push, action payload. That array will receive one comment more. Again, IMER library will copy previous state, previous array of comments, and to that copy push action payload is one comment. It is reducer. But this situation when we have a form with a lot of fields, and that form, and not all fields we write by our hand, but some fields coming automatically for other function, like comment ID coming from function nanoid, date coming from function sub, post coming from form, but not by our fingers, because post ID exists. Every post there is a unique identification, there is a ID. And here in comment we must know that comment for what post. Every post there is a comment, and we must know every comment must have a post ID. It is ID of post. Okay. Rating is something what coming from our fingers. Author, comment. It is here. Post ID coming from form, but not from our fingers. Rating, our fingers type it. Author and comment. Author we can type, and we can create list. We can user can be author. We can have some array about author. It means that author must be login at first, and after that all register it, and every time login and write a comment. In that situation when no all field is here, no all field go to pay automatically in pay. Not when we have that some field coming from form and other from automatically, we use prepare function. Prepare function, here it is what coming from form, and return payload. Exactly. We here have a reducer, always same, and we have a payload, where we always must have a payload, but we see others payload. Let's go to counter slice, post slice. There is a reducers, plural, reducers properties of post slice object. Reducers, there is one reducer, same as in comment. We have reducer function, state action 2 parameter, and previous value state dot push method push. There is argument action dot payload. All what I said for comments is equal for here. And prepare, there is here title, content, user ID, prepare function. There is 3 argument, and but fields, there is a more field than that 3 field. That all other fields are here. Payload, and it is object with that fields with that properties. For form, in form we call fields. Input box 1, input box 2, etc. Fields and button fields, that input box text area, but sometimes also in object. Reaction added, function reaction added. It is here. It is reducer, and this is also reducer, and it is reducer. We have here 4 reducer. One is post added, reaction added, post update, post delete. You look at how I named all that. You can name delete post, update post, edit reaction, but must be always the same when you choose something for naming. You must be consistent, and it is very, very important for maintenance and clear code. And reaction added. First feature, and the second reducer, name for that reducer. And both, when I said added reaction and reaction added, both name is descriptive, but everywhere where you can find your method for naming, you be consistent. Very, very important for your understanding and other understanding your code. Look at here. It is same. Reducer function. There is a state action parameter, and in the body is expression state. It is previous state dot method bush action payload parameter. It means that IMER library will copy previous state. What is previous state here? It is array of post. Array of post. Because of that, here is a posts, because it is array of post. There is a lot of post, not one. And here it is that array of post, previous array of post, will be copied and to that copy of array will be push action payload. It means new post what we send, what we write. Prepare what coming from form. All other payload, complete payload. Very, very understandable, and don't be confused. I stay maybe long times in Redux, because now when I know Redux, I like to speak about Redux, and enjoy to speak, enjoy to learn you and help you that you don't be confused. We have only reducer and payload. Let's go down. Reaction added. Reaction added is reducer, state and action. Reaction added. But now we must write all that we have what to do with every button, every reaction. We do this. Reaction is array. And when we have array, every reaction in square, here is square brackets. Every reaction, when we write here index 0, 1, every member in array there is index, it is concretely, or we write here a name of members in array. And reactions like it, and plus plus means that reaction is a number, and the reaction will be added by 1. Plus plus means by 1. Every click on reactions will be up by 1. Again, we have here what will be happen with the button in reactions. There is 6 buttons, I think. It is array. But altogether that array is properties, reactions, properties of payload. It is part of payload. And we must know, because we must know post ID. There is a little more here, little more code, little more processing. About that I can I was speaking, but I can I talk about that, but I can talk in the future again. But we must know post ID, and we must know reaction index or reaction name, and plus plus concretely. Here reaction added is reducer function. Look at parameter state action and body of reducer. In that body, in that reducer, we must say what to do and with what. Until now we have payload, 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 but now also we have always payload, but here we must take out from payload, take out 2 variable. Take out, and it is destructured assignment, because we must take 2 variable from action payload. What variable? Variable what we need. post ID, we must know post, and we must know button, name of button at what we clicked. And this structured assignment is something what is also very, very confused for me. But for example, how we know what extract from action payload, concretely here? We know what we need. We must know what we need. We need post ID and button, because every post there is a 6 button reaction. Every button reaction there is a name, there is an index, and we must. It is like comment post. Why comment there is a post ID? Comment there is a post ID because one post can have more comments, and every comment must have post ID. And in relation database we call that primary key and the strange key. Primary key is in post. Post ID is primary key in array post. But comments array, there is a primary key comment ID. But relation one to many means that one give ID, own ID to many. Who is many must receive, must have ID, primary key from one, who is one. And that primary key, when coming to concretely comment, is strange key. And comment, there is a primary key, it is comment ID, and there is a strange key, it is post ID. Also, here, every reaction must have post ID and must concretely ID call it reaction, and it is name of reaction or index of reaction. And we know it is problem for people who start learning. For me, it's not problem because I'm very and long time in relation database, and I wrote books about access. You can download it from my it is now that book is free, and it is the best. Not is what is mine book, but now you have that book free. But it is what I think it is the best book about relation database management system, relation database management system, because I go very details, as you know now in this video, and as always I learn very in detail, and in core of that. Okay, and it is problem who begin learn programming. He don't know nothing about relation database, what I just told you, and can ask yourself how I will know it. You will know it by that theory of relation database. It is. I said you something. If it is not enough, download my book Access, and I recommend you. And all about relation database you will know, and it is SQL database. But now we have more and more no SQL database, but SQL database will be very, very important. Very, very important long time. Why? Because it is different than a no SQL. When somebody is different from all other, he exists all the time. Always somebody can take it, need it. Because it is relation database, there is a reason, very important reason why take it and not take no SQL database. It is reaction edit. It is reducer. It is reducer. But we know that it is function, pure function, but it is also properties and action creator, but I don't. I spoke about that in a previous video. Update, post update is also a reducer, and there is a parameter state action. It is previous state. Post update is about edit, is about change concretely content inside existing post. And also like reaction edit, here post update, we have deconstructed, destructured assignment. It is destructured assignment. Again, same thing. When we change something in post, we must know ID of the post, because it is a unique identification of every post. Without it, we don't know which post, and it is primary key of array posts. And that primary key means that it is a unique identification of every post. And we need it. We need it here, ID. And what is it? It is a field what we want to change. We want to change title and content. Only that two fields. And it is deconstructed payload. Deconstructed assignment, the structured assignment, we like because we extract three variables. And here we have three variables. We need them. At first we find post ID. Post ID is that ID. And after that, we change title and existing post and content. Here is mutate. It is directly mutate here, but IMER library will create copy of title and to that and create a new title, and new content. When we add, when we push to here is not push, here is a title equal title, content equal content, and when it is happen existing post, of course it will be mutate by immutable way, and that complete post go in archive, call it like this, and coming new. But this moment, yeah, and it will be same post with same ID, but will be new title and new content. Same post. We have same post. We have no plus one post. We have same post inside of posters, inside of array posts. Title and content will be changed by immutable kind, but will be changed, will be mutate, because it is ID, same ID of existing post, and this action to existing post means that existing post will be that value, that field will be changed, and we don't have other new post. Post delete. Post delete. State action. But here, why I little here, I go back, why I little here stop and thinking about, I thinking in moment I go by inertia that we always have immutable chain, and in one moment I stop because, hey, it is not mutate all post, it is mutate only field in the post, and I think it will be mutate also by immutable kind, because that I'm working behind, but we must know what is the state here. State here is post updated. Yeah, state is always the same. Here is a stated array. State is postus, complete array. But here it is reason that we take variable ID and find post, concretely post, with this condition, and in that post change only title and content. Change it. There is no more. There is no more. There is no more. But every changing is immutable. I think so now in this moment, and that partial mutation of one title and content here is also immutable, must be immutable, because we have behind, we have the timer library and make it. And if I go to reducer, if I go to Chrome and look at, I can see that I have every post update will give me different when I create more post update, every post update will have history, and I look at what was post update, every post update, what value have title and content. Okay. It means that title and content mutate by immutable way. Post delete, reducer. Here is writing, coding in form of reducer. Concrete name of reducer is post delete. It is name of function. Parameter state action. State is post, array post. Here also we used destructured assignment, and because we need ID. We need ID, we need variable unique identification, ID of post, because that post we want to delete. But here it is that it is only for exercise. We can be without it. But it is some logic, and every logic is good for secure processing of. And state filter we need, that this condition, all posts, what there is no ID equal ID, get in a new array, not in get in a new array. This state is a previous state, but a dot filter, method filter, always create a new state, and this is new state. This is immutable kind without IMER library, without help of IMER library. It is reducer. And after posts, we have replies slice. Reply slice is as comment. I have nothing to say to do. Reply is comment to comment, and replies one is comment to replies one. And it is all, it is reply edit, like comment edit, and replies, users list, users slice. There is also, it is reducer, state action, state push special. We add this reducer, we add a new reducer. Payload is a new reducer. But also we have ID, every user there is ID, and there is a username. Here is a very only I use only username one input box because of simplicity. And this reducer user edit is like comment edit, post edit, reply edit, replies one edit. It's all users replace 1, replace, it is 3, posts, comments, countering and counter 1. Here it is. I hope that your confusion will be less and less after every of my video. As to me, less and less I am confused. When I look at on this slice document, I see that I familiar, more and more familiar with it, and I will, I can this moment write it from blank page without lot of error. Initial state, constant user slice, name, initial state, and reducers, and in that reducers we have reducer and we have prepare, some of them. And think of this, of that destructured payload. Yes, I hope that soon I will be ready without error write my own slice. If you know somebody that need a video like this, send them, share this about this video, share in your social network, like if you like, subscribe if you need it, comment what with what you confuse, how you get in React and learn React. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.